On June 17th, 2004, I arrived in Iraq for a 3-month mission. That's not as much time as a lot of people were sent there for, but it was longer than anyone I knew at the time. In the months prior, I had been certified on the Glock 9mm handgun I was required to wear while in that country. This was still back when the US was an occupying force and the country was a war zone. So I was understandably afraid for my safety and already anticipating the day I would get to leave and return home. I looked up into the night shortly after my arrival, and I saw the faintest sliver of a moon in the sky over my base in Iraq. Since I was scheduled to stay on that base for 3 months, the thought suddenly struck me that I would watch 3 lunar cycles from this base before I would return home. I settled into a schedule as follows. I went to sleep every night by 8 p.m., slept 8 hours, and awoke at 4 a.m. I then spent an hour and a half working out with fitness equipment we had on the base. I worked out in the early morning, knowing that it would only get unbearably hot as the day wore on. I was about 30 pounds heavier than I wanted, and hoped to use my time in Iraq to get in better shape. I worked an 11-hour day from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. with a half-hour lunch, and I would work exactly 90 consecutive days without a single day off, from June 18 until September 15. In the hour after dinner and before I would go to sleep, I studied Romanian because I wanted to learn how to speak the native language of my then girlfriend, now my wife. As the days crept by, I watched the new moon wax and then wane into another new moon, and I knew that I had just 2 more cycles to see before I would leave. I watched the moon every night, observing the slight shifts of light each day coming closer to my departure. Prior to going to Iraq, I had succeeded in passing 3 of the 4 tests necessary to be fully certified as an Arabic linguist at the NSA, which would also mean a large bonus in the paycheck known as Foreign Language Incentive Pay. But I was going to have to take that final test while in Iraq. This consisted of typing out everything I heard in an audio conversation in the Arabic language. My boss informed me that I couldn't just take off the 2.5 hours the test would take, but he would let me work extra before and after the test in order to create the time window for the test. He proctored the exam and sent it back to the United States for grading. I knew by the end of the test that I had done well. I learned the following week that I had passed the test with honors. Here are 2 awards the NSA gave me, acknowledging my passing 2 of those 4 tests with honors, including the one I took in Iraq. Between the awards is my Global War on Terrorism Civilian Service Medal, awarded to me for my service in Iraq. I would celebrate July 4th on that base, Labor Day, and as I started into September, I was getting so close. And finally, I saw the tiniest sliver of a moon emerge on the 4th cycle. I was about to leave. And on September 15th, I got on a plane and I went to Baghdad. Then I went to Jordan, and then I flew back to the United States. I was home from Iraq, home from the most grueling experience of my life. While in Iraq, I had worked 3 months of 11-hour days. In spite of how busy I was, I had kept with my exercise regimen, and I had limited my portion size at meals. I lost 30 pounds. I had learned functional Romanian, which I have since polished to enough fluency that I am a certified fluent interpreter for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in both Arabic and Romanian. And I had passed that final Arabic certification test with honors. I had done all of these things, and now I was looking forward to a much-deserved rest. I knew that back in the United States, I would only have to work 8 hours a day, and I would have weekends. And I believed that with so much more free time, I would be able to even further expand my productivity. But I would soon learn that I was wrong. But why had I been able to accomplish all of that without dropping from exhaustion? More importantly, why would I soon find myself accomplishing so much less when I suddenly had a lot more free time? I would discover that ancient peoples knew the reason. In the next video, I'll tell you how I discovered the secret.